Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening, good evening, good evening. I hope everybody is doing well. Um, so, happy Wednesday to you. I hope everybody's doing pretty good. Um, Remember, my request is that you please keep the Campbell family in prayer as they are dealing with the transition, the passing of their son, their brother. Um, yeah, so please do that. Please, 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 I beseech you, keep that family in your prayer. Continue as I've been asking you to pray for Shonell Barber, praying for little AJ. I think he did his last chemo. Young man I follow on Instagram. I think he did his last chemo last year. So, and then hopefully things will be better for him. Pray for DeAndre Allen. Want you to consistently keep them in prayer. And then pray for, different people who are being diagnosed with COVID. Um, I don't know if you all are aware. It's not my topic tonight. I don't know if you all are aware, but there is the variant Omicron. They are talking about there is a slight bit um, difference in it because it kind of, you know, somebody talk about they're dealing with like night sweats and got to change their clothes in the middle of the night. That could be the particular symptom, if you will, of that. Now, I have not looked into it recently. There's a new one that's out. So, you know, listen, be it you are vaccinated or not, keep yourself safe, right? Keep yourself safe and all that good stuff. Um, Always tell people be cautionary and not fearful, be cautionary and not terrified. All right. Um, and let's just keep people, up. Right. Hey, so good evening to everybody. I want to get into this conversation. This is, if you will, this is like a spin-off of my conversation on last night. It's a spin-off on last night. And I was going to talk about this, but I was going to do it separate. But I'm not going to be able to do it separate because tomorrow night, um, I won't be on unless I came on a tad bit earlier. Um, that's I may do that, may not, because my son has a game tomorrow 8:30. So won't be doing my regular live. So anyway, so let's get into this conversation. All right, let's get into this conversation tonight. So yesterday I talked about cherish who's there and cherish what's there and bury what's not. And so now I want to go in a different approach. Um, so last night, while being on my live, um, different people started chiming in on YouTube. And on YouTube, not on Facebook or whatever. I don't even know because nobody's ever said anything off of Twitter. I don't even know. No one has even said it. No one has said anything as it relates to Twitter. But anywho, so they so I don't know if that works there, but I know it works on YouTube. So somebody came up on YouTube, and I remember Misha and I was doing a live. She said you can delete it. I said I can. So I pushed this button. It showed me what I could do, and I forgot all about it until last night. And when I pushed the side button, here's what it said. And that's what I want to talk about tonight. I want to talk about as it relates to relationships with people. I want to talk about this tonight. Y'all ready? Here we go. Timeout or block. Timeout or block. All right. Time out or block. And so it was very interesting when the people chimed in on YouTube and they would write something, and I clicked the button, and it said, one thing. Hey, what's up, Lydia? One thing, and I got to talk to you about something too. One thing it hit on there. It hit on there. I clicked it, and it says put on timeout, and then the other one says block user. And I want to tell y'all something that's very interesting, and I think, and this is where I'm going tonight. I think there are moments in time where, when we're dealing with different people, we're dealing with situations, we're dealing with, Kylan, did you come over here because Instagram is something wrong with it? I think that did you come? Is something wrong with Instagram, or did you just come over here just because? All right, yeah. So like right now, where Kylan is right now, if I push that button, it says put user in timeout. Put user in timeout. And then when I remove it, and it gives me two choices, put user in timeout or block user. Now, I want to talk about this because I think it's very important that we come to an understanding that there are some relationships that you are in, where you have to make the determination of whether you're going to put them in timeout or you're going to block them. Now, what does that mean? Now, from the YouTube perspective, from what I read, you can put the person in timeout, and and here it is: timeout is temporary. Putting the person in timeout is temporary. And on what I saw is that, no, I'm out so much. Okay, got you. All right, so put them on a timeout, puts them temporarily, where they won't be able to comment, they won't have access to anything temporarily, and that only goes to about 5 minutes. The block user is you have the power to block them, right? And in blocking them, they won't have access to you any longer. And I started thinking about when I was talking about last night, and I was talking about in situations where, you cherish what's there and you bury, what's not. And then I talked about there are times in your life you're going to have to make that decision. And so when those people showed up, I didn't block them or put them in timeout, but it got me to thinking that there are times in our life, there are people that are in our lives. Some people, they need a timeout. They need a temporary moment where they're not any longer have, here it is, access to you. All right. Because I think one of the things that we have to be very careful of is that moving so quickly within our emotions, that sometimes, here it is, there are sometimes the people we have blocked should have just been on the timeout, and some of the people we've put on the timeout should have been blocked, because a lot of times you won't see a lot of things, until certain situations come about. You really won't understand the steps. And so I just believe, personally, since we're talking about Can We Talk tonight, I just believe there are moments in time where you need to put some people on a timeout. They need to be temporarily put on hold. They need to be temporarily restricted into your life. And then I think there are people that you need to block. See, who do you think you need to block? The one who never admits wrong, the one who is forever making it all about them, the one who never, humbles themselves, apologizes about anything, the one who is more of a headache than they are a help to you. You see what I'm saying? Because in relationships in general, and I'm not just speaking romantic relationships, I'm just saying relationships in general, you're going to have conflict. You're not going to always see eye to eye. You're not going to always agree. There's some things you're going to agree. There's going to be some things you're going to disagree. There are going to be some situations where you're going to agree to disagree. And so, what I think when it comes to these various situations and these different seasons in life, you got to be very careful. I try to tell people when we have conversations, be careful about how quick you allow your emotions to overtake you. Sometimes we can be emotionally driven, right? And I think when we deal with emotions and we deal with our mindset and our emotions, what we how we are what's the word, comprehending a situation, how we are computing a situation, how that data, if you will, is going into our hard drive. We have to be very cautious and very careful about these situations. And I'm gonna say this: sometimes, hear me well, sometimes one of the greatest challenges we have is that sometimes the people we've been in relationship with the longest, we've been friends with the longest. Someone had told me not too long ago, I think so and so and so is fake. And I think they've always been this way. And I was like, well, why do you think so and so and so has always been fake and so and so has always been? Because look at what's happening. I said, well, why does it have to be always fake? Maybe this is the person now. I don't subscribe to the fact that if I've been knowing you 5 years and then something happens to your mind, that for 5 years, I don't think that's what everybody, are there exceptions to the rule? Absolutely. But I don't think you can put everybody in the category of, 5 years and now this must have been you all the time. I don't think that you can always apply that. In every situation, I think there are times that's not it. Now, some people are great pretenders. They're great pretenders. They're, as a famous verse says, they're sheep in wolves' clothing. But then I think sometimes, they're wolves in sheep's clothing. But I think there are sometimes they're sheep in wolves' clothing, because it is easier to see the the sheep clothing than it is the wolf clothing. If the wolf is in the sheep instead of the sheep in the, you see what I'm saying? They talk about, be mindful of the sheep in wolves' clothing, but sometimes it's the wolf that's in the sheep's clothing. Y'all get what I'm saying? Sometimes some things are more obvious than others. If the sheep is in the wolf's clothing, if you got the wolf that's in sheep's clothing, it's going to be difficult, because if the wolf is in sheep's clothing, unless you're really looking at the individual, unless you're really paying attention, you're not going to see it. And so sometimes, we don't really know who that person is until situations develop, until situations come out, until situations begin to build. Then you begin to see, like, oh my goodness, this situation. And I'm a firm believer. This is just me personally. I don't think if I've been in friendship with somebody for a certain amount of years, that it can just end that quick. Even if it's a situation even if it's a situation where, it was a high betrayal. And let me be very clear, because a lot of times when people talk about high betrayals, they're thinking of, oh, they slept with my man, or they slept with my woman and stuff like that. No, it don't always have to be sexual. Everything will have to be sexual. There's many ways to betray somebody than, being unfaithful in a sexual way. There's levels of infidelity that a lot of times I don't think we really come into the grips of discussing, and we don't talk about infidelity on other levels. You can be in a strictly platonic relationship and have no type of romantic feelings whatsoever, and guess what? Infidelity comes to the relationship because somebody is not faithful to the relationship. Somebody is not faithful to what has been agreed upon as friends, as road dogs, whatever you want to call yourself, BFFs, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? So I believe it comes a point that you got to really, I'm just not one that just feel like you can just drop it, a relationship over like that, friendships like that, because then I'll put my own personal spin. I believe if you can just end your friendship that quickly, um, even if it's hurtful, even if you felt betrayed, even if you were betrayed, even if there was something that was handled wrong. I'm not saying your feelings will not be hurt. I just don't think you can end it, so quickly. You know what I'm saying? There gotta be, unless it's some very high grade dissension, and sometimes we move in our emotions. And so what I'm saying is, examine the relationship, examine the person that you're with, examine who it is. Y'all been hearing me say this for years. Sometimes, you'll find yourself in connection with someone, and you find out that you're the one who established the relationship, and not necessarily that person. You're the one that said this is how it's going to be, or you're the one that created the, I guess I'm gonna say, the label of the relationship, and then the person never labeled it as such. So here you are thinking, you the godson, the god brother, the big uncle, the big aunt, the spiritual mom, the spiritual father. You know, you thinking you all these things to these people, and then you find out, oh, you thinking you're just friends of the law, friends, and all of that. I'll never forget, as long as God keep my mind, I'll never forget going through an experience. I've had two experiences. I'm gonna deal with, I think, one of them. I'll never forget the experience I had when I went somewhere and somebody said, "Oh man, I feel so bad, Dwayne Loughridge." I said, "What? So and so in your relationship?" And I was like, "Okay, what happened? Did something happen?" And then it's like, "Man, you covering up real good, man. I know y'all was close." And I'm sitting up here saying, like, "What are you talking about? I know y'all was close, and I can't believe it, man." This person let me know what was going on, and and they just decided to they just decided to end the relationship. And I'm saying to myself, well, what, huh? And they was like, I said, what? And they was like, oh no, you didn't know? I said, no. Wait, are you kidding me? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, well, maybe this person is mistaken. So I go visit somebody in another city, and that I'm close to. We chit chatting and talking, and then this person was like, "Bro, how come you didn't tell me you and so and so wasn't cool no more?" And I'm looking at this person like, "Man, I guess it's factual," but I was never told. I was never told that the relationship had ended. I wasn't even listen. I didn't know I was in it. Catch me out. I didn't know I was yeah. I didn't know I wasn't on a timeout. I didn't even know I was blocked out of their life. I had no clue whatsoever. And I'm sitting up here like, wow. And so I was like, okay. So me being who I am, I saw this person at a church function. So I walk over and I noticed they're dodging me. Like, is this person really dodging me? Like, and so, long story short, it came to the point where I was like, wow, like, so I had to find out from some other people. And I had made a decision in my life. And the decision that I made in my life, the other person was offended by a decision that I made about my personal life. And you know I didn't sugarcoat anything. I was very open about a situation, and the person literally, I mean, hear me well, y'all, the person literally, was like, well, what do you expect me to do? And I was like, well, you could have had a conversation. Well, you didn't think I was hurt by the decision. You didn't think I was hurt by X, Y, and Z. And I'm telling this person, was like, well, I didn't know our relationship had ended. Like, why did I have to find out for somebody else? And then, somebody's like, oh, you're freaking insensitive. You should have known, these people was going to be hurt by the situation. I was like, well, why would I have known? I mean, I knew hurt, because of the decision that I made that was better for me. You know what I'm saying? It was a wiser decision for me because listen, let me tell y'all something. Stop. And I'm gonna speak this from a intimate situation, romantic relationship, and I'm gonna speak this from friendship relationship. Stop being in relationships that you don't want to be in. Now, whether the reason why you don't want to be in them or not is legitimate or not, I'm not dealing with that right now. But and when I say right now, at this moment I'm talking, but I'm gonna deal with it. But I'm saying if you're in a relationship, you don't want to be involved in it. Why keep carrying it out? Oh, I don't want to hurt the person. But then and I say this to young men all the time. Then one of my godsons, he was in a relationship, and it was a relationship of convenience. And I told him, I said, she might be hurt. I said, but one thing I know about women, they want honesty. They rather you be honest. And I'm not saying being brutally honest, but they'd rather you be honest. Just be honest about situation. But she's going to be hurt. I said, let her feelings be hurt, but I'd rather her be hurt. You with this girl and you still got a thing for your old girl. The girlfriend you used to have, you still got a thing for her. So why are you even engaging? You can't get over somebody, hooking up with somebody else. And let me tell y'all something. Some friendships do the same thing. You can't get over a relationship. Maybe that situation, you need to put that relationship on a timeout. Okay, let's separate temporarily. But you can't separate and then go somewhere else having a rebounding relationship with somebody else. That's unfair to the new person, and is unfair to you, and is unfair to the relationship. Now, if you was going to end it and resolve it, you should have just went ahead and ended it and and not resolved it. You see what I'm saying? Or the resolve is let's be cordial. We're not going to be able to continue in our relationship. And so I told him, I said, just be honest. What did she really like him? Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? To her, he was one of the best boyfriends that she had, but his feelings were still attached. His feelings were still attached to his former. And I was like, it's unfair for you to be in this relationship with her and your heart or your emotions are still locked to her. So he told her and she respected it. And here's her words. Thank you for telling me that. I'm hurt by it, but I can respect you for not hearing this, stringing me along. Do you know how many people string people along? You know how many people got people thinking that they really about them and they really care about them and they're really, hopeful about them, and it's really shady to think that you are this important in somebody's life to find out that you're not that important. And instead of that person coming and say, you know what, I feel differently. Right, wrong, or indifferent. I feel differently, and I don't want to be connected to this anymore. I don't want to be your friend anymore. I don't want to be your boyfriend anymore. I don't want to be your girlfriend anymore. I don't want to work for your company anymore. Pastor, I don't want to be over your choir no more. I want to be your minister of music anymore. Vice versa. I don't want you on my praise and worship team anymore. I don't want it because we're not connecting. You see what I'm saying? I don't want you, I don't want you working in my business no more because our friendship is being destroyed because of the business situation, because some people don't know how to separate business from pleasure. You see what I'm saying? And so there are some situations like that. I think they'll deserve a timeout. But then there are certain situations, if you're bleeding in a relationship, you're always bleeding. Now, let me say this because I say this often. I'm a stickler for longevity of marriage. I am not one who is a supporter, listen to what I'm saying, a supporter of divorce first. See what I'm saying? I'm not a supporter of it. Have you exhausted all you could to make this relationship work? Have you as a husband done everything? Have you as a wife done everything within your power to make it work? Right? But are you doing? I'm not going to even go right now on a biblical perspective. It's going to deal with this right here. Have you worked it out? How have you talked? Are you trying your best to, you know what I'm saying? I'm just sick of him. Okay, well, sometimes you're going to get sick of the person that you with. Sometimes your children get sick of you as a parent. Sometimes the parent gets sick of you. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you just get sick of the individual. So what I'm saying is, before you just like, I'm done with it, I want to deal with no more, iron the situation out. Have the conversation. I was saying this to someone the other night. Why I can say it, because I can say who it is and not go into all the discussion, because something we're going to discuss in the future. But I'm talking to my boy, Ty Snow. And, and let me tell y'all something. One of the things that people need to be is upfront and honest about what they really feel and how they really feel. And not, if you don't want to be with somebody, say you don't want to be with somebody. Don't just string them along and just have them dangling. Somebody thinking they about to say I do to you and you about to say I don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like, no, that's and then relationships and friendship become games. Now, and let me tell you something. There was a situation in my life with one of my godsons. We separated for a good while. I mean, a good while. And let me tell y'all something. I didn't block him, right? But I separated. That relationship was on the timeout. Like real talk, y'all. That relationship was definitely on a timeout. There were other people. There were other people that were attached. There were other people that were connected to me, and they didn't know we had separated. They didn't know that, and it had been almost a year. They didn't know, and they came to me for advice about the same person, and I said, "Hey, this is what you do. You do da 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 da." About a year in, almost a year in, they approached me. Loughridge, you didn't tell me you and so wasn't talking. Why would I tell you that? Why would I tell you that? But Loughridge, but I said, why do I need to tell you that? Because if you're not dealing, I said, just because I'm not dealing with this particular individual does not mean you don't deal with the individual. Now, and see, that's a situation that some of y'all need to put yourself on the timeout. You need not to side with somebody else. You need not to side with somebody else only because the else that you're siding with is your buddy and they got a conflict with somebody. And they want you to have a conflict with somebody because they have a conflict with somebody. And then they try to put you in the middle. God forbid if both of y'all have mutual connections. I'm not about to be placed in the middle. I mean, somebody told me, well, you already, no. You're not putting me in the middle of that because you can't listen. And I told people, and I've said this, if you make me make a choice and you're both trying to give me an ultimatum that is either one or the other, then let me tell you, both of y'all about to be gone. What? But I said, oh, you see, you're never going to have that type of authority over Dwayne Andre Loughridge. You're not going to do it. So you don't want me siding with this individual because I said, you're wrong. I've had people tell me, well, they don't even like you. It doesn't matter if they don't like me. It doesn't matter if they don't like who I am. That doesn't matter to me. If they are correct, I don't care how wrong they have treated me, how much they've dogged me out. If I'm siding with what's right, and some of us got to learn how to have a neutral mindset. You can't be caught up all in your feelings. And when you're caught up in your feelings, then if you're going to be friends with them, you can't be friends with me. Don't do that. Please don't put me in a situation where you're making me or you're trying to provoke me to make a decision, because if you make me make a decision, it's not going to come out the way that you might think or want or desire for it to happen. Y'all feel me? And so, they had no clue. They had no clue that I was, we was not talking. And somebody came and told me they wanted to get this particular person. And they said, oh, only because that's your godson, I ain't going to get him. Now, the flesh in me wanted to be like, get him. He ain't connected to me. Get him. You know what I'm saying? Get him. And my point of saying that is they told me, I was like, I'm not getting caught up in that. So then this person wouldn't be nameless. But the person, those people came to me and one person said, well, y'all should have never went to Dwayne about that. He was having conflict with so and so and so and so. And I told the person who told them, I said, don't listen to him. He can't speak on my behalf. I said, when did y'all find out that he and I wasn't talking that much? Oh, we just found out not too long ago. I said, and how long ago did y'all have this conversation with me? It was a good while ago. And I said, and I told the person, I said, I'm not like everybody else. I'm not going to dog you. And the interesting thing about the person that said nobody should have come to me about a particular situation is that person didn't know that I found out that something that I did, even though I apologized to that person, got back to me about what they said about me behind closed doors. And if I wanted to bust people out the wall, bust people out the seam, I would have bust them out. And this is why I tell people all the time. There's a lot of dirt that people have brought to me. And a lot of times they're bringing me the dirt because they want me to advise them on how to deal with it. Because I'm not going to ever tell someone unless it is something illegal, immoral, inappropriate, then I'm going to tell you to expose whomever you need to expose. Right? I'm going to tell you to expose who you need to expose. Right? Especially if it's a violation of a minor. We definitely got to have that conversation. There's no if and the buts. This ain't we're going to pray about it, leave it in the Lord's hands. No, we're not leaving this into the Lord's hands. This fool needs to be dealt with from a legal perspective, and he probably needs to be in handcuffs, and he needs to be thrown under the jail. She needs to be thrown under the jail. So we're not going to do that. And so I said all that to say that relationship was on the timeout, right? But then there are other people I had to block, like real talk. Someone I'm very close to in my life, they're blocked right now. They're blocked. I don't, and I'm going to tell you, I don't even go and peek and look at whatever they're doing with their life. Now, somebody, and let me say this, because this has happened down through the years. People block me on social media, right? And so once you block me and it's over something stupid, over something immature, I don't have to have you back in my life. Because I was Dwayne Loughridge before I met you. I'm going to be Dwayne Loughridge while I know you. I'm going to be Dwayne Loughridge. If I die before you, I'm going to be Dwayne Loughridge if we never talk again. I was who I was before I met you. So, you're not adding anything to my life. And if you did, you probably added frustration because I wasn't dealing with this foolishness until you brought yourself around. And so, it's like, somebody was superly close, and I reached out, and the response was disheartening. The response was like a dagger, a sword cutting my heart up. And I said, okay, I just can't. I'm gonna leave it alone. I've reached out, finally got a hold, and this is what you say. So it's like, so in my mind, I just blocked it. I said, okay, this person is now, and if y'all know what heard me last night, I said, now this person is dead to me. All right, dead to me, right? It's like they're dead to me. So it's like, now something happened to this person. Definitely would be there for their mom if possible. Definitely would be there for, that other relative that's connected. Am I going to say my heart not going to be broken? Absolutely not. Because I've spent years in this person's life. But they're doing some stuff. So it's like when you tell me, well, what's the purpose? I don't, why? And why do I need you? And da-da. So you start talking like that. And this is not the first time. And I've had a conversation I've said to you before, hey, if you do this again, I'm moving on. What's that? Who is that? That sings that song? That's that Molly Music and Jonathan McReynolds. I'm moving on. You have to do that sometime. All right. Let me look at what my boy Kylan said. Kylan says, had a friend tell me, Kylan, since you have an issue with that person, I have an issue. And I told them, no, that's between me and him. You don't need to be upset with him when he ain't do nothing to you. And you know what? And I'm going to say this. Do I get why people are upset? You know, do I get it? I absolutely I get it. You know, they cool with you and all of that. But the reason why I tell people don't get caught up is because what if I'm the one that's wrong, right? I don't want you siding with me because they don't like me, because it could be something I've done, right? I've been in those situations where, you know, the person was wrong, right? Or I was in the wrong. Don't side with me if I'm wrong. Don't ever side with somebody because they're wrong. In this, I don't care what the person. I'm gonna say I don't care in that sense, but caring to the point that you won't do what's right, if that makes sense. So there's some people I've had to put them on timeout. You know, I put that person on timeout, and eventually that person came along. Because let me tell y'all something. This is Dwayne Loughridge. I'm gonna tell y'all this right now. If you sitting at a table, right, and I've said this to many people. Not just the one I'm indirectly talking about right now. I told this person, I said, let me tell you something right now. Hear me well. Hear me loud and clear. If you sit at a table and somebody is running their mouth bad about me and you know it's not to be true and you don't say a word, and somehow I get wind of it, our relationship is going to go different. There's a person in my life that happened, and our relationship is different. It's never going to be the same, and it's not been the same. It has not been the same. I always tell people, I'm not the one you turn against. I'm the one you turn to. And but yeah, real talk. And I had to put them on timeout, right? And it brought conflict with somebody in their connection that they're closer to. And I was like, it is what it is. Because when somebody's trying to destroy your name, they're trying to destroy your character and all of this type of stuff. You know, people don't realize how often I've known my name has been in people's mouths. You know, and there's people who have reached out to people and lied and said, you know, they've called people that's real close to me and told them some very defaming stuff. And, you know, I ain't gonna lie, my temper got the best of me, and I wanted these people to die, like literally die off the face of the earth. Like, you got to go. I don't want you hurt. I don't want you hospitalized. I wanted the person dead. I wanted them in the ground. Yesterday, when I said cherish what's there and bury what's not, and I was using that metaphorically, you know, this situation and the person, I wanted them under the ground. I wanted to hear ashes to ashes and dust to dust. That's how angry I was. That's how upset I was. Like, fired up. Till there were people around me that was like, Loughridge, this is not you. And I was fire. You know what I'm saying? I was ticked off to the highest degree of ticked offness. And I wanted the person to die. And y'all can sit there and be deep all you want. But let me tell you something. And I wasn't quoting no scripture talking about be angry and sin not. Listen, my anger had led me into sin because I wanted the person to leave the earth. And watch how stuff happens. You know, somebody usually my Can We Talks, I don't throw scriptures out like that. I'm gonna throw this out. Bible talks about the devil being the prince of the power of the air. Let me tell y'all something. Somebody called me and was like, yo, you was on my mind. And, you know, you was there for me when nobody else was there. And this person lived the thug life. Was like, you know, I'll die for you, man. I'll do da-da-da-da-da. And if somebody's ever say something about you, man, and they saying some crazy stuff, I'll go to jail for you, man. I'll take them out for you. All you need to do is say the word. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I said, hold on. I put the phone down. Because you got to be careful. Just because an opportunity is there does not mean it is a healthy opportunity. Just because a door is open does not mean you need to always walk through the door. Did y'all hear what I just said? The door is open, but every door you don't need to walk through. Every door that's open, everything that is accessible, hear me well, it's not always constructive. Everything that is opened up to you, it's clear. You gotta be careful of you going into open spaces. You gotta be careful of walking into open spaces, because some of these open spaces, when you walk and you get on the other side of the door, you begin to see some other stuff that you didn't know. So don't be quick to run into new doors. Don't be so quick to run into new opportunities. Don't be so quick to run into new journeys and new endeavors and new whatever you want to call it. Be careful of being run into the new and run into that which seemingly looks what's the word I'm looking for? Beneficial. Because some stuff that looks, see, that's what deception is. The deception is powerful, because deception is truth, is a lie looking like truth. It's counterfeit. You see what I'm saying? It's not authentic. It's not genuine. It's not sincere. It's full of dissimulation. Are y'all feeling me? Okay. So just because an opportunity is there doesn't mean it's a healthy opportunity. Y'all feel what I'm saying? Thank you, Kylan, for putting that right there. You see what I'm saying? It's important. Okay. All money ain't good money. See what I'm saying? Okay. What you mean? All money ain't good money. I know somebody right now. They're at a place where the money is good, but they're mentally and emotionally drained. The money is on point, but they're mentally and emotionally drained. Why? Because when they got to the destination, they thought the destination was going to be something powerful and beneficial. And many people connected to that situation thought that person was going to be beneficial. And it's not that the person is not beneficial. It's not that the person is not advantageous or profitable. It's the fact that that person has not been received. So now that person, financially, it is a wonderful blessing, if you will, to the family. But mentally and emotionally, they're drained. So this situation, he can't put this situation on the block. He has to put it on timeout. He has to separate himself from the situation. Y'all get what I'm saying? So I wanted that person to die, and somebody called me and was gonna get it done. And I contemplated the situation. I come from a vindictive nature, and I like to, if you push me, I'm gonna get even. But you ain't gonna see it coming. Because I had and have, the mafia mindset. Somebody said, "Well, did you say have?" Yeah, it's there. It's under the blood. I don't like the game banging style. I like the mafia style. The mafia style is they'll do everything within their power to make you suffer, and they'll do everything connected to you to bring you down to your knees. They're not just going to blow you up overnight. No, some toes don't got to come off. Your tires got to be slit. They're going to hit you where it hurts, right? If you got a big business, they're going to blow it up. They're going to slowly but surely destroy you. What is that? I think that's Lauryn Hill that talks about killing me softly. Yeah. You feel me? And so I had to get out. So I went through that. And when I had to come out of that mindset. You see what I'm saying? It was very destructive. And it was very, 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 very destructive. And so I brought that up because, the person that did that, somebody else sat at a meeting table or a table, and this person said something. And I was like, this could have destroyed Dwayne Loughridge, like literally. and I'm a fool for my name. I'm just like y'all. I'm just like the play, the movie. Um, Tyler Perry wrote, I could do better all by myself. I don't even need nobody to do it for me. Y'all feel me? I didn't need nobody to do anything to destroy my own life. You see what I'm saying? And so I had to learn in that situation. Now, that person, I never dealt with them before, but they came after me. And then the person that was connected to them, sided. And the person said, well, I want to talk to you about the situation. You get my perspective. Because I was like, I told the person, I said, I'm not coming to anything that's connected to you ever again. I said, so I'm just letting you know. I think I was on program to do something for something this person wanted. I said, no, I'm not doing nothing. I'm not even showing up. Because how dare you sit at a table and let somebody run me down and you say nothing? Can't support that and won't support it. And I know. You know what I'm saying? It was a lie, and you know it's a lie. And if you didn't, and even if you thought it was true, you sat at a table, let somebody say something. Couldn't do that. So it brought a level of separation. And see, that's different from other situations. You know what I mean? That's different. When and then somebody reached out to me and was like, listen, I've been hearing things and I wanted to know, did so and so talk to you? I said, next time that person say something, anything to you about me, and they said they text me, ask them what my phone number is, because you have my phone number. Ask them that. You all would be surprised the amount of people have told people that they've talked to me. They've texted me. Not be late. They did not. They said they did. I said, okay. Tell them to show you my communication with them. Because watch this, even if I lied and said they didn't communicate me and they did, they got the text message to prove it, right? So that should tell you right there, I ain't lying. I'm telling you, tell them to show it. And majority of the time, you know what I've heard? Oh, I deleted that text. Because they deleted it because they were lying. Because it never happened. So I've learned that situation. I had to block. Now, going back to the situation, even with the one that Kylie was talking about, that if it doesn't affect you, um, don't be in it. Now, if the person knows that the person is just is downright crazy, like let me tell y'all, I was telling y'all about the people that have blocked me, and but they don't block my wife, and you know. Somebody was like, "Well, they gonna block you. You need to block your wife." I said, "No, it's all good. It's all good because when the day comes, they want to have a conversation. Guess what? I have the power. Don't have to be spiteful. Don't have to be angry, but I know I see what you've opened my eyes to some things, and so I realize you're not a person that I can keep on timeout. You need to be blocked out of my life. If I say hello to you, there are people they'll call me. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing good. How you doing? Doing well. And they want to start this new journey. Can't start a new journey with me. Number one, where's the apology? Like, watch out for people who treat you like trash, dog you out, and then they come back with these repentant words and these sorrowful hearts, but they don't want, it's no. What's the difficulty in saying I apologize? If you're that honorary, you're that arrogant, till you can apologize for the wrong you've done. That's your problem. I don't have to bring you into my world again. I don't have to, and I won't. And there's no hard feelings. I won't treat you like trash. You know, um, I won't. You call and say, "Hey, can you pray? I'll pray. You need some spiritual advice or something? I'll give you the spiritual advice." But other than that, I just want you to understand there are some people in your life you put on a timeout temporarily. It's almost like putting them on a restraining order. Just for a brief moment, I need you to stay away from these certain distance, and then you know. But then there are people who have been blocked who somehow really turned around and they're back in. And there are people who are on timeout, they're now blocked. So, anybody got any comments or questions you want to ask about this? I'm just saying. And let me tell you something. And in any situation, you don't have to be bitter if you put them on timeout. You don't have to be bitter if you block them. I'm just saying, never do stuff out of spite. Never do stuff. Do everything in your strength and your power, not to do something because of bitterness. Because it'll never get better with you being so bitter. Now, I've made a decision. Sometimes, the best thing I can ask God for, and I've asked God with some people, give me closure. And in my mind, there was a certain perspective or a certain way I wanted closure, and it didn't happen that way. And so it crushes me to know that I'm not connected to certain people, and there's no explanation, or the explanation was on lies, or something was wrong, and you didn't like the way I said something, or you didn't agree with what I said, and instead of having a conversation about it, you just exit me out. Because I don't perpetrate like some people. I don't perpetrate. I am beyond flawless. Ain't nothing flawless about Dwayne Loughridge. But I strive to be mature. I definitely strive to do that. I strive to be mature. I strive to treat people as I want to be treated, even when I'm not. That's why I don't subscribe to the logic of, and to get respect, you got to give it. I'm a firm believer in what everybody calls the golden rule: do unto others as you would have them to do to you. So, I think that's, you know, so for me, um, so I think for me, when the person, yeah, so that's it. Any questions anybody have? Please put them in the comment section if you'd be so kind. Um, you know, and most times, you're it's most times if you pay attention to me, um, you know, if you know me well enough, you'll know. Trust me, you'll know. Yeah, you'll know if you're on the timeout or not, because I'll say certain things to you. This is me. I don't know how everybody else do things. I remember somebody asked me that, and I was like, "You remember when I said da 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 da?" Oh yeah, because to them it's like it just came out of nowhere. It's a surprise, and it was like, "Oh no, this not even a surprise." I said, "No, it's not a surprise because I mentioned it." Like, okay, and one of the things that I try to share with you all is about the experiences I've had, and that is the greatest thing you can stop doing when it comes to friendships or whatever is don't label it anything before. Let the person, before you can call it whatever it is, let it be defined. Let them define it. Stop defining relationships with people. You define. Let them define it, and then put them at the place where they'll be, what's the word? Accountable, I guess I'll say, to it. Because let me tell you, this is me. After a minute, I tell people, after a minute, I don't feel obligated to answer your questions because I've already done this. I've already said this. I've already made this known. You know, one of the persons the closest to me, one of the persons closest to me when we went through it hard, and I asked the person in the face in my house, did da 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 go down? I just want truth. And no, I promise you, I promise you, it did. I promise. I said, please, I'm just asking you to tell the truth. I am telling the truth. Okay, you telling the truth. I said, okay. I left it alone. You know, unbeknownst to me, somebody connected to the situation reached out to me out of guilt. I just need you to know that I feel so bad because of this, and they started spilling it. It shocked the daylights out of me. It shocked the day. You know how you can tell something may be off, but it shocked the daylights out of me, and it threw me for a serious loop. So then I told that person, and I said, "You lied." You know, if I'm gonna use recent vernacular that I probably would have said then if it was then. I said, I got the receipts. And I began to share stuff. And the thing about it was I didn't want you to be disappointed. I was already disappointed, but I wanted you to be open. See, trust me, y'all, I'm the type of person, I've always been this way. Thank God my kids know this. They all know this. Um, they know this. They know this. Um, they know. And one of those is my sons, and I raised them. And one of them, I tell them, you can talk to me about anything. I think that's what makes Dwight and Dennis and I's relationship what it is, because she's always been open. Well, when she's ready to talk, she's been open. If I was to say who's the most open child of all my kids, it would be my son, Sean Christopher Keyshawn Wilson. Now that one, yeah, sober or not, that one, he kept stuff open. Even if he felt or knew within himself that it was going to disappoint me or put me in a high level of concern or something to that magnitude, but he's open, very open. Now, I would say Dwight will probably be the next out of all my kids to be open. No, I have to take that back. It'll be David. David would be like the next person that was like really, really open. Now, because of a certain situation, I think Dwight and then Rashad will kind of be on the same level. Because it's like no, you don't really want to disappoint. You don't want to really disappoint that person. And I ain't no, I appreciate it, but I'm like, tell me the situation. Let me know what's going on. I went through a dark season in my life, and me should know my dark season. Dwayne Johnson, and he literally knew that situation. Desmond Boone knew it, and Sharita Johnson um, went through a very dark season in my life, and it was so dark that Misa was surprised that I actually shared it. When I listen, I don't have. Listen, y'all. This will tell you when you got real friends, even when you're dark, even when it's wrong, even when it's off centered. You see what I'm saying? I don't have nobody in my life that I can't be accountable to. Did y'all hear what I didn't have? Didn't have that. You couldn't be close to me like a Dwayne Johnson. You can't be close to me like Desmond Boone. Can't be close to me like a Sharitha Johnson. And I not, and not share the all of me. That's when you know, y'all, hear me well. That's when you know you have a cherished relationship. When you can spill it all, the good, the bad, the ugly. Don't have nobody in your life, hear me out. Don't have nobody in your life that's going to cater, that's going to cuddle your wrong, and cater to your mistakes. Don't let nobody do that. Don't let them cuddle your wrong and cater to your mistakes. Let them correct your wrong and love you in spite of your mistakes. Did y'all hear what I just said? Don't let them cuddle your wrong and cater to it, to you and cater to your mistakes. Absolutely. We don't cuddle wrong. We don't coddle. We don't come here. Oh, I know that was wrong. Rockabye. No, we ain't rockabye nobody's baby. We're not even doing it. You see what I'm saying? So, and I think what has happened with a lot of people, and I've talked to a lot of people about different things, and they've told me, they said, Dwayne, I'm just tired. And I get it. They said, I'm just tired of people that this, and I get it. And guess what? You don't have to. I look at, and I'll close here. I look at the situation that has happened in the life of the Campbell family. And I look at what has happened. And I look at my girl Janetta, who did a post that said, I like apologizing to people for not texting and apologizing to people who, apologizing to people for not texting them back, apologizing to people for not calling them back or responding to the DMs or whatever, however they were trying to reach out. And I was glad that my godson, Eric Joseph Johnson Sr., said to her, you don't owe anybody an apology. Her son just died in a tragic way. Life was taken. And you got people, I don't care if they was family or not, I don't know, because we ain't talked about it. And I'm not asking her to talk to me about that. I was just bothered by the fact you actually thought she should be calling you right now. This woman's son just died. And God forbid, y'all keep wanting to ask all these questions. And then I saw something she put up where she says, and so many where she was upset and not necessarily with the woman, not the killer. Now you know that's a problem. Should be warned about, should be ticked off, bothered, angered by the person who took her son's life. And she's more angry at other people. I don't know what that's about. But it's ridiculous. And I'm tired of people shut up lying. Let me tell you something. I know there are times we try to be empathetic about stuff, sympathetic and show empathy. I'll take empathy over being apathetic any day. But what I'm saying is, people say stuff all the time. Yeah, I know what you're going through. My son got killed too. You don't know what I'm going through. You say, I empathize with the experience. But I empathize. I can understand. The feeling of your child being taken by somebody. That but you can't say I know what you're going through. You don't. You don't know. You don't know. Oh yeah, my daddy left me before too, so I know the feeling about having your daddy. No. Because some people, daddy ain't never been there. Some people, daddy was there and left. Some people's daddy died. So you can't say stuff like that. Do y'all hear what I'm saying? You can't say stuff. I know we want to sound empathetic and we want to, sound, and be concerned, but we got to be careful what we say. That thing angered me, and I reached out and I told her, you don't owe anybody an apology for anything for not calling them back. It's your son. It's you and Johnny's son. No need for neither one of y'all having to call back. Anybody, get up out of here. Get up out of here. No, ain't no sister right. No. This girl is grieving. I'm just sad to the point that I don't have the transportation to get over there like I would want. So I do what I can to check, and I'm not gonna be overbearing either. But y'all, pardon me, I just went on a rant right there. But I just like people just talk stupid during people's times of death. Shut up. Well, what happened? He died, fool. That's what happened. Ooh, so and so. Well, she died. I get it. Naturally speaking, when people die or whatever, especially if you don't know the cause, you want to know. Everybody want to know, how did Betty White die? According to the autopsy, she died natural causes with no foul play. She died natural causes. But I'm just saying, knowing the reason why, the person died, ain't resolving it. Some people have loved ones that have died and they don't know who the person who killed them is. There are people who loved ones was taken from them 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, and the killer's still out on the street. And sometimes the killer's out on the street because folks in the hood won't say nothing. Because we didn't taught people not to snitch. I remember my cousin, one of my cousins who's worked for the police, well, used to, he's retired now. And he was talking about a person who was talking about how come the police don't arrest these killers and stuff and all this. He said, well, how, he says, well, we can't arrest people if people in the neighborhood don't say anything. And then he said, cousin, you won't believe what she said to me. This lady says to him, the person who killed her son, she knew who it was, knew where he was, and didn't tell the police. You know why? Because the mother said, I don't want to be a snitch. Now, I can somewhat understand you not want to snitch on somebody for somebody else, but your own son? And you want to talk about how come the cops ain't getting these criminals off the street? Well, fool, you didn't talk about your own son. Because I ain't no snitch. What? And, kill me. Kill me. Because I'm not supposed to fear those that are able to destroy the body anyway, but not my soul. I'm supposed to reverence him who's able to destroy both body and soul in hell. So just, let me shut up. But yeah, you got a timeout or block. And you have to make the determination on the timeout thing. All right. Any questions anyone has? Write it down in the comment section, or because I'm getting ready to leave, put a question mark in the comment section. And let me tell y'all something. Here's the deal. A timeout for many people, just like we use it with children, a timeout is not just to keep the person away, but a timeout, everybody, is also this. Y'all ready? For that person to reflect. It's a time of reflection for that person. You feel me? It's a time of reflection. If you as an individual, want to reconcile you want to fix, amend, correct a situation. Don't just do it because you want a timeout. Do it because you really want to make amends. Do it because you really want to fix it. Here we go. If you were blocked out of somebody's life, they may not let you back in, but let's just suggest in case they did. You got to give them that opportunity so that trust can be reestablished, rebuilt. You feel me? Okay. All right. Thank you for joining Can We Talk? Feel free to share any type of topics you may want me to talk about on Can We Talk or at the Ministry of the Table, where I do more biblical conversations and stuff like that. Oh, all right. All right. I think that's it for me. And I got to do something for somebody tonight. All right. So if there's anything just don't act out of emotions alone. Don't act irrationally. I want to encourage you with that. Okay. All right. Like I said in a previous post, learn for yourself how to be better, even when you can be bitter. And just remember these final words. Just because an opportunity is there doesn't mean it's a healthy opportunity. Good night. Thank you for joining.